It's Math with Matthew. So go kick off your shoes. Increase your worldview. It's Math with Matthew.
On this episode, we welcome Dawn Mercedes, Sarah Buckley, Tara Trainor, Ann Swisbin, and Melissa Gridley. And now, your host, Chelmsford's Mathematics Coordinator, Dr. Matthew B. Rollins.
X equals 3.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to our third and final episode of Math with Matthew for the 2012-13 academic year. On our first two episodes, we focused on our high school and middle school math. And on this episode, it is dedicated to learning all about the great things occurring in the elementary schools within Chelmsford. First, I want to introduce you to a special guest, and that is a man with many talents, both a math connoisseur and the author of the Math with Matthew theme song, Mr. Zach McIntyre. How's it going up there?
Mathemagical.
It looks like you've got something on your mind. Care to share? Where did that come from?
Math is always on my mind.
Well, please stay with us for a little bit, as I want to discuss how math is involved in all of our lives. Every day we do math and we don't even know it. We simply could not function without it. At a young age, we should have children singing about numbers. Most people do not know that the alphabet song was originally the number song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, the reason why most people don't know that the alphabet song was originally the number song is because I made that up. But every subject in school has some aspect of math in it. For example, the only true international language is math.
Jar, born, 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 born,
As many people know, there is a strong relationship between math and music, but there's also a lot of math in art as well. Let's visit an art class and see their projects related to a mathematical concept.
Samantha, what are you doing for your art math project today?
I'm using dogs to show addition.
Dogs to show addition. Very good job. And Ryan, what are you doing for your math art project today?
I'm drawing circles to draw circumference.
Oh, he's using circles to draw circumference. Good job. Now, Shaylee, why does your paper have nothing on it?
I'm doing my work. I'm showing the identity property of 0.
What a good job you're doing, you guys.
Thank you to my friends at South Row for those great videos showing how math is integrated in all subject areas. So, in conclusion, it is clear that throughout all of school and life, all you need is math. So in conclusion, all you need is math.
All you need is math. All you need is math. All you need is math. Math. Math is all you need. All you need is math.
Everybody now.
All you need is math.
Sing along at home.
All you need is math. Math. Math is all you need. Math is all you need.
Math is all you need.
Math is all you need.
Math is all you need.
A bit of chemistry.
Bit of chemistry.
A touch of history.
Touch of history.
Math's the best
Thank you so much, Mr. Mack and Kate, for singing along with us. On this episode of Math with Matthew, we will learn about our mathematics curriculum math expressions with Miss Buckley and Miss Massetti. Our second segment investigates technology use to support the math curriculum with Miss Trainor. We will be joined by our elementary math coach, Miss Swisbin, to learn about her role within the Chelmsford Public Schools. And finally, we will learn about Chelmsford's partnership with UMass Lowell through UTeach with Miss Gridley, Dr. Lewis, and Miss Crawl. Let's begin by meeting all of the great elementary teachers within the Chelmsford Public Schools. Okay, let's get started learning about our elementary mathematics curriculum math expressions with two of our elementary teachers, Sarah Buckley and Dawn Massetti. How you doing?
Thanks, how are you?
Good, thanks so much for coming on. Hi, thank you. So let's start with you, Dawn. Can you tell us a little bit about that math expressions program?
The thing I like the best about the Math Expressions program is that it takes a simple concept in math that we're introducing to the fourth graders and shows it to them in a variety of different ways. And what's great about that is for students who might be struggling with the concept, they can choose from those different methods and pick the one that works best for them. And for kids who are a little bit more comfortable with those concepts, they can see all the different ways of doing it and experiment with them and learn different ways of doing it.
Good, and what about you, Sarah?
Another great thing that the Math Expressions program does is many times not only does it ask them for a numeric answer, but it also asks them to explain the hows and whys they did things. So it really forces them to understand the concepts at a much deeper level.
And we've been using our Math Expressions program from kindergarten through 5th grade for the last 5 years. And next year we're going to be transitioning to the Common Core edition of Math Expressions. Sarah, how are you able to integrate technology into the math instruction?
One of my favorite parts about the program is the online website Think Central. So every day when I start my math instruction, I'm able to pull up the page that we're going to be working on and project it right onto my whiteboard. So it gives us all a common place for our learning to happen from, and it makes it concrete for them. We can model strategies right on the board and have kids come up, and it just makes it that much more interactive for them.
Great. Dawn, what other technology is being used?
Well, this year the district implemented benchmark testing in the elementary schools so that using Study Island, we can get information about the specific skills that our kids are really comfortable with and the skills that they need to continue working on, and that can drive our instruction moving forward.
Okay, let's take a moment to visit Sarah and Dawn's class and see math expressions in action. Within the Chelmsford Public Schools, our kindergarten through 5th grade classes use the mathematics curriculum math expressions. Students in Miss Buckley's 4th grade class at Center School use student whiteboards and an interactive Eno board to support the curriculum and student learning of the Common Core state standards.
4th and 5th grade class, we're on the planning committee. Students, or D, none of the above. So go ahead and submit. So that 1,319 people could each have one slice. 164 pizzas, B. Three equal parts. What do you notice about the word equal? Ryan, what'd you notice?
This is Miss Mercedes' 4th grade class at Byam School. She is using a PowerPoint presentation and hands-on activities to support the Math Expressions curriculum. This best practice helps students gain conceptual understanding of the mathematical standards.
I have 1A.
Keep reading.
Who has, I think, 112.
Excellent. 4 equal size. Congruent. What's congruent?
Welcome back. That was a great look at these two teachers and all of our elementary teachers' great math instruction. Dawn, tell me please, how are you able to reach all the different learners in the classroom?
Another great thing about the Math Expressions program is that it has different methods of differentiation built right into it. And we have a whole box full of activity cards for each lesson. So in any given lesson, if we have kids who are working in a small group, the rest of the class can be working on some of these activities. And they're leveled based on whether they need reinforcement of a skill that we've already worked on, whether they're right at grade level, or whether they need a little bit of enrichment.
Excellent. Sarah, what about you?
Dawn already talked a little bit about Study Island, but that's another great program that is able to let us reach all of our learners. So it takes our Common Core standards and it lets students access them at their own pace. For kids who are really getting things, they can move through it very quickly. For kids who are maybe struggling, they have this thing called building blocks. So it's able to help fill in what they need before they can move on and get the curriculum at their grade level.
Great. Sarah, what advice do you have for incoming 4th graders to help them be more prepared for 4th grade math?
You have to know your facts. Everything we do in 4th grade depends on you knowing your facts, whether it's double-digit multiplication, long division, fractions. You have to know your math facts.
Dawn, what about you?
Know your math facts.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Dawn and Sarah, for being on the show today. In a moment, we'll be joined by Harrington 3rd grade teacher Christina Trainor to learn about some of the technology that's incorporated to support the Math Expressions curriculum. Let's first take a moment to learn about one of those programs that we just discussed, Study Island.
Study Island is an instructional and diagnostic tool that helps students master their state standards and prepare for standardized tests. Each state has its own unique set of standards, and teachers and principals are held accountable for students mastering those standards. We research every state's set of standards and build every product from the ground up, so the products are extremely customized.
Welcome back. We will now learn about Study Island and some of the other technology with Miss Trainor. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So let's begin by having you tell me a little bit about what motivated you to use technology in your classroom.
Well, the philosophy in my classroom comes from UDL, which is Universal Design for Learning. As a part of that program, they strongly encourages the multiple use of representation. So we represent the same ideas in multiple ways within a classroom, and technology is a great way to represent the same material through different avenues.
Let's talk about the Extra Math program. Can you tell me about what that program is and how it's used in your class?
Absolutely. Extra Math is something that I actually learned about from Steve Wartzler and Christy Martin. They teach 2nd grade over at Harrington with me, and it's a great program. It's very basic and simple. Each child starts off with addition facts, so it's simple addition facts, and then it kind of works on fluency very quickly. So it flashes up a problem, and kids have to actually complete each problem within 3 seconds, actually. And then it goes through addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So it gets kids fluent with their common facts, and we just heard 4th grade teachers say that the one thing their students need to know before they come to 4th grade are their multiplication facts. This is a great way to get kids actively engaged, where there's no paper, there's nothing. Kids can work on it at school and at home. Each child has their own account, and then it lets me know how students are doing and how often they access the program.
Your classroom seems very energetic. Do you feel like the students are learning the standards in the most productive way, focusing on technology?
I absolutely do. I think we know that through that education right now and the world in general is moving towards a more technologically based system. So it's a really wonderful way. Students are much more familiar with technology, say, than I was when I was back in 3rd grade. So for the students, it's very natural. So they enjoy using the different technology, but of course, everything needs to be used in moderation. So it's not technology every day, because then that would kind of ruin it for the kids. So it's a little bit here and there that really engages the kids each week.
Okay, let's take a look at some of this technology that Ms. Trainor is talking about by taking a view into her classroom. And when we come back, we'll meet with two of Ms. Trainor's students. Welcome back. We are now joined by two of Ms. Trainor's students, Griffin and Alana, here to talk to us about the technology use in Ms. Trainor's class. Welcome to the show, guys. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks.
What we want to do is talk to you a little bit about some of these technology things that you do in your math class this year. Let's start by talking about Study Island. Alana, do you like using the Study Island?
Yes, because it helps you with math, and sometimes if you get an 80 or higher, you get to play a game.
Oh, great. So you get to play a game when you get correct answers?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Griffin, let's talk a little about the extra math. Can you tell me what is the extra math program you do in Ms. Trainor's class?
So you don't really have to write a problem on paper. You just use the keyboard on a computer and just type in the answers.
And are they quick answers, things for you to try to memorize your math facts?
Yeah, and you have to do it under 3 seconds. And if you do it, and if you do the end of the session in under 3 seconds, you get a certificate.
Oh, wow. And Alana, you didn't like the extra math program when you started, but now you're doing well with it. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, because it helps you with your math facts, and if you didn't know them before if you didn't know your math facts, then it would help you learn them quicker.
And do you feel like you're now prepared to be able to go into 4th grade with your math facts?
Yes.
Excellent. So let's talk about the clickers that you use in the class. Griffin, tell me about these clickers. How are they used in Ms. Trainor's class?
Well, you can do it much faster instead of writing a really big problem on paper.
And what about you, Alana?
I think it's easier than writing a thing on paper.
And is it more fun too using the clickers?
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thanks guys so much for telling me about this. And thank you to Griffin, Alana, and Ms. Trainor for sharing all of this great information and technology use during math instruction time. We'll now take a look at a math problem with Ms. Tice, one of South Row's 4th grade teachers. After, we'll return with Ann Swisbin, the district's elementary math coach.
Hi, I'm Lisa Tice. I teach 4th grade at South Row Elementary School. Our 4th graders, whether it's decimals or multiplication or it's measurement, are having to find these concepts in multi-step word problems. Let's see if you can solve this one. This is the chicken and the egg problem. Cody raises chickens so he can sell the eggs. Each of his 36 hens lays an average of 1 egg a week. How many dozen eggs should Cody have in 3 weeks? Each week, the hens lay 36 eggs, but you needed to know that 1 dozen equals 12 eggs. 36 divided by 12 equals 3 dozen eggs a week. But you were asked how many eggs in 3 weeks. 3 weeks times 3 dozen eggs is 9 dozen eggs. Did you crack the problem?
Welcome to the show, Ann. Thanks so much for coming on with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
So Ann, can you tell us a little bit about what the role of the mathematics coach at the elementary level is?
Oh, I'd love to. As a math coach, I am what I would like to think of myself as a problem solver. and also as a supporter of the teachers in their quest to teach the math curriculum. And one of the big things that we did this year was to implement math benchmarking testing for the first time. And so that was a big project to do this year. The way we did that was we met at the beginning of the school year and decided on what might be some important concepts at each grade level that needed to be taught. And after identifying those concepts, we made a test and got feedback from the teachers, and then the teachers gave the test, and then we gathered the data, and I had time to sit down with them and facilitate the data meetings and talk to them about how the students did and identify strengths and weaknesses, and then also to take time to share what they felt were good strategies that we might go forward with to help some of our struggling students.
Yeah, and you've done a great job with that benchmarking this year, working
Thank
with
you.
the teachers. They feel very well supported because of the work that you've done.
Thank you. We're actually going to do a second round of that. We're actually going through that right now, so
Great.
It should be good.
Let's talk about the math expressions. We learned a little bit about the program from our teachers earlier, but can you give us a little bit of a historical perspective about why we adopted math expressions within the Chelmsford Public Schools?
Surely. We started actually with a pilot program. We had an extensive pilot program for 2 years. We looked at different programs and then picked 2 to try. And the one that came out ahead was math expressions, because we felt, and this was not just administrative, it was teachers involved in the pilot program and teachers involved on the committee. And we decided that math expressions was the one to adopt because it had a nice melding of fact fluency and arithmetic, but it also took the understanding to a deeper level, which is what we were looking for.
Well, thank you, Ann, for telling us all about the great things that you're doing within the district to support the teachers, the students, and math instruction. Coming up, we'll explore Chelmsford's newest partnership with UMass Lowell called UTeach. Let's take a quick look to learn what UTeach is.
The first member of her family to go to college, Rosanna was determined to become an engineer. But that all changed when she discovered UTeach, an innovative program that prepares math and science majors at the University of Texas to become teachers.
What makes UTeach unique as a program is that it has an extraordinary number of very gifted students in mathematics and science who are committing themselves quite early to become teachers and are preparing both to get an exceptional training in mathematics and science and also to get teaching certification within 4 years.
My kids are like, Miss, you are very excited about math because it's just math. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's more than that. It's patterns. It's logic. It's so much fun for them. And it's fun for me because I'm doing what I love and kids want to see that.
I want to be a teacher because I want to make the kids excited about science, and my passion rolls off onto them.
Thanks so much for coming on. So Samunu, let's start by having you tell me a little bit about the UTeach program and the relationship with the Chelmsford Public Schools.
Okay, so the UTeach program is a teacher preparation pathway for undergraduate STEM majors. And it basically originated in UTeach Austin, University of Texas Austin. And it came about in the 1990s as a method for preparing science and math teachers for middle and high school, because there was a shortage of these teachers in these areas. We got UTeach as a race to the top funding from the state, and we have now been running since fall 2011. The relationship we have with Chelmsford is that UTeach requires mentor teachers for our students to go and teach in the classrooms, and Chelmsford is one of the school districts we work with.
And Melissa, can you tell me about your role within the UTeach program as one of the mentor teachers?
Absolutely. So basically my role is to be a mentor teacher. So I offer my classroom to one of the UTeach interns or a pair of 2. And they come in for 4 visits. So the first visit they get to see what the classroom's like, observe me as a teacher, meet some of the students, and then they come in for 3 lessons to teach to the class, and then I observe them and give them feedback about everything that they're doing. So
Thanks.
it's really a great relationship.
All right. Samuda, what makes the UTeach Teacher Program pathway unique?
Well, in the UTeach program, we work in a stepwise process. And so the students, when they first join UTeach, they come in step 1. And step 1 is where they go and experience elementary school. And this is essential because most of the students we have are freshmen and we can't put them in middle and high school straight away. So, but within the first couple of weeks of registering on the UTeach program, the students are out there in the field, they're planning lessons.
Excellent. All right, let's take a moment and see what these UTeach teachers are doing within the Chelmsford Public Schools, and then when we come back, we'll meet one of them.
What do you know about area? We mean the shape inside of it.
Welcome back. We are now joined by Christina Crawl, a UMass Lowell student and a member of the UTeach intern program. Welcome to the show, Christina.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming on. So tell me, what made you interested in the UTeach program?
I went to a boarding high school in my senior year. I had one teacher in particular. He also happened to be my dorm faculty, and he really inspired me. He lit a spark in me to learn that went far beyond the classroom, and I was, I think it hit me that, hey, I might want to do this when I'm older.
Great. And so tell me about working in Miss Gridley's classroom. How's that experience been, and what have you learned from it?
Excellent. It's a few words that come to mind are fulfilling and challenging. Fulfilling because I feel great when I leave. Hopefully it positively impacted the students, and challenging because you're in a leadership position. You're leading your students from point A at the beginning of the lesson to point B after the lesson, and how are you going to do that? And I think I'm learning that in the classroom I'm in charge, and it's not so much the material, the math and the science that you need to grasp on, rather it's all on how you deliver the topic. And you really need to be comfortable with your students, know their needs and how they're going to learn to be an effective teacher, because we truly all learn in different ways.
Absolutely. Well, I hope after being in this program you eventually become a teacher for either math or science, because we need a lot of those good teachers there.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Melissa, Samudu, and Christina, for informing everyone about this exciting program at UMass Lowell, and now within the Chelmsford Public Schools. We'll be right back to close our show after taking a look at some of the second grade classes at Harrington Elementary School. Thank you so much for watching the show today. Thank you to all my guests. Thanks to Tom Peterson and his crew, Anne-Marie Fiore, CTM, and everyone at Inside CPS. We'll see you for next season, Season 2 of Math with Matthew, next year. Thanks so much for watching.